Keith Grinke here from Top of May News with Eric Odelay Perez. Eric, I guess first question is, why Odelay? What's the background with that name?
Odelay. That came I was maybe 15 or 16, and the Perez throws people off, so people are always asking, what nationality are you? What nationality are you? So I guess some people decided I was Mexican, so they Odelay, and Odelay started from there, I guess.
So your last fight we saw you at CFC 5, you fought Robin Black. And there was a lot of controversy at the end. Beers were thrown into the cage.
Coleslaw, yeah.
It was quite the mess. Yeah. Talk us through the end of that fight. Like, what exactly happened for those who haven't seen the end of that fight now?
Well, Robin was charging quite a bit, and he was he walked into a couple of shots, and it looks like I rocked him with one, and he went to shoot for a takedown, and I sidestepped it. I followed up with a kick to the body, and it was something I was very clear with when we did the weigh-ins. What kind of kicks can we do when the opponent is down? And I made sure I was aiming for the body, and I did hit the body. And it looks like the ref stopped it at the wrong time, and he didn't have a way out.
Yeah. So you always want to be the show. You want to be the one that everybody remembers. You want to fight for 3 rounds. You always say, I don't want to train for 2 months and have like a minute or 2 fights.
Oh yeah, no.
So how do you feel? Like, you're on the score. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel
this was my big break, and you know, I was talking a lot of trash. I was telling people if I knocked him down, I was going to let him up. And well, I guess you plan on doing that, but as soon as you get in there and you hurt him, you kind of ice him right away. So it was I guess we were just on different levels. I wanted to make it clear we were on different levels, and I guess 86 seconds is probably a good way to show.
Yeah, and especially after your first 3 fights at CFC, you've won 4 in a row now,
yeah.
And the other 3 were definitely fight of the night showstoppers, and you become quite the hero to local fans. And you're going to be main eventing CFC 6 now.
Yep.
Like, how does this feel? Like, you're definitely a fan favorite out there.
Yeah, I love it. I love exciting the crowd, and the last 4 fights I've had people out of their seats, and it's the biggest rush you can ever imagine. And I like doing it. I love coming to the gym, but I don't want to be at the gym if it's going to be for 86 seconds. That's for sure. I don't want to be here 8 weeks every night if that's what it's going to be, and I don't want to be here for 8 weeks, 12 weeks if I'm just going to be if I'm going to be in a boring fight where people don't even remember what happened in the fight later on that night. I want people to remember that they've seen me fight, to remember there was an actual war. Yeah.
Is there any added pressure being in the main event?
Not really. I didn't really like being this late in the card. Actually, that was the first time I've co-main evented. This one will be the main event. You're kind of stuck. You're kind of isolated from everybody. You really miss out on the whole thing. Fighting first or second, you go out, you do your thing, and you go out and you have a party. You can say hi to everyone, all your friends and family that kind of showed up. But you miss everything. I was in the doctor's office getting looked at, and you get your once over from the doc after the fight, and I missed Dirkson's fight, and by the time they let me out of there, the lights were on and everybody was gone. They're separate ways, so everyone, you miss a lot. So
you'd rather fight earlier, but
I'd rather fight earlier. I'd rather have a war, but if I could pick one or the other, I'd rather have a war. But let's try both. I'm going to try both this time.
Yeah, so you're fighting Remi Morvan, who's lost his last 3 fights, although he will have a tune-up before he fights you.
Right.
He was ranked like number 3 in the country at one time, and now he's ranked number 7, and ahead of yourself, who's recently been ranked number 9. Like, what are your thoughts on Remi Morvan? Well, like, what's going to happen? You've seen your teammate take him out twice.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but I've been pushing to be ranked. I've been pushing to get on the higher in the Canadian rankings, and I guess the last few fights I've climbed into the top 10,
and you're still not happy.
I'm still not happy. No, I'm not happy. People see me as someone who goes out and has wars and takes a beating and keeps going, but I mean people aren't I guess haven't seen or don't really appreciate, you know, like my ground game and my stand-up game. Yeah, I take some punches, but I trust my chin, and you know, I like having a war. And I mean, I do work on my head movement. I do work on blocking and all that. But I mean, that's fine. Remi Morvan's got a strong ground game, and that's where a lot of people think that I have a hole. And Robin Black thought I had a big hole there. He didn't have an easy time taking me down, and he wasn't able to. And that's where Remi's gonna want to take this fight. I'm pretty sure. If he does, he's gonna be sadly mistaken, because I've watched his fights. I've watched his two fights with a teammate, Rolly Delorme, and Rolly walked right through him.
Yeah. So, on the ground you're going to beat him. Standing is going to beat him, or are you just going to let him back up all the time, just like you always say?
This one, no. I'm gonna try to put him away. If I hurt Remi, he's going to sleep for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any chance of getting a submission?
A nice one.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get
something
a nice
you guys
one.
haven't seen. Something
Yeah?
you guys haven't seen out of me for sure.
Yeah.
And something you guys probably won't see that night. I love working on submissions that you know, not the rear naked choke, not straight up, not the armbar from the bottom. Something different. You guys will see something that comes out of nowhere, or I'll maybe pass up the easy submission to go for something flashy.
Yeah, I hear you talking, but I'm, you know, everybody knows, read between the lines, it sounds like another knockout you're going for.
I don't know. I'd like to say yes. Remi is very good with his takedowns, and he prefers the ground game. I know we're going to end up on the ground at some point, but if he wants to match ground games, I'm all for it. I'm very confident in my ground game, and a lot of my teammates, if you ask any one of them, the ground game's solid, and if he wants to match ground games with me, let's go.
Yeah, and you've seen him, you know, try to take Rolly Delorme twice to the ground. You train with Rolly Delorme all the time at WAMA.
Yep.
You know, so
I'm not saying I do a lot better than Remi with Rolly on the ground. Rolly does, you know, take me to school pretty handily. But I do put up a fight. I do give him fits. We don't go 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We go 15, 20 sometimes. So yeah, we have it out for sure.
Well, that's great. You know, thanks for your time. I don't know, before we wrap this up, do you want to thank any sponsors or anything?
Well, of course, Full Time Fighter. Dean and Full Time Fighter has always been a huge help to me. You know, with all the kind of things I need done behind the scenes, and he's a great guy. If anyone's looking for you know, gear, go to Full Time Fighter, fulltimefighter.ca. That's about it. My work's a good sponsor. They've been great to me with my schedule, and having a Chrysler has helped me with my training schedule. They've just been great.
Well, that's great. Well, best of luck at CFC 6 against Remi Morvan, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, Keith.